Of the heaving masses that make up the citizenry of the Imperium, most live in desperate squalor, packed into mountainous hive cities where they toil endlessly in vast manufactorums. Generation upon generation live and die in a state of constant fear. Fear of invasion, fear of starvation, and fear of the retribution they will face if they dare to cast off the shackles of the Imperial Order. These wretched conditions are the perfect breeding ground for dissent and rebellion. And in the face of hopelessness, many are swayed by whispered stories that tell of chaos gods and the rewards bestowed upon their followers. Such unimaginable power is tantalizing to the powerless and set many on the path of damnation. These cults begin to grow deep within the fabric of imperial worlds. They are driven by the profane preachings of chaos-touched demagogues. Though many of these cults are found and eradicated by the Ordo Hereticus, the Watchers within the Imperium are not able to have eyes everywhere, and many more of these cults flourish. The cultists hide in plain sight, their drab clothes covering heretical tattoos and symbols that they have carved into their own flesh, all dedicated to the ruinous powers. Their numbers continue to swell with time until the cult has infected large portions of the planet's society, and a collective feeling of destiny gives these members purpose. They begin to gather weapons into secret caches, pilfering from planetary defense forces, and crafting makeshift implements from which they can hack and bludgeon. Some are even given visions which reveal methods of piercing together crude but effective guns. As their hour of reckoning approaches, the most faithful servants are marked with hideous mutations, and the wretches that behold these gifts offer up their souls willingly to the worship of the ruinous powers. The first cult we're going to talk about are those dedicated to the Chaos Lord Tzeentch, the god of sorcery and intrigue. Surprisingly, there are few of these groups in the Imperium, as the benefits Tzeentch offers his followers are often less tangible and immediate than the mutations of the other Chaos gods. This is why many of these cults are created by heretical pilgrims who answer to one of the many Chaos warbands that come from the Thousand Sons Traitor Legion. These servants of the Tzeentchian empowered demigods are tasked with appealing to those who value knowledge, specifically secret and forbidden knowledge. And of course, the individuals most likely to be tempted into the service of Tzeentch are Psykers, who already possess the secret and feared ability to tap into the limitless power of the warp and reshape reality. It is Tzeentch who offers Psykers the knowledge required to achieve unlimited heights of psychic ability through the practice of the powerful arcane psychic technique known to the Imperium of Man as sorcery. For many, the forbidden knowledge Tzeentch offers is too tempting to pass up, and before they know it, they have been ensnared within the Grand Schemer's tangled webs, and find themselves as just another unwitting pawn in one of Tzeentch's cults. Even non-Psykers can find themselves pawns in Tzeentch's endless games of intrigue, when they discover that if they make use of the heretical knowledge offered by the Chaos God at least just once, they can perhaps better their situation in life or that of their loved ones. The agents of Tzeentch know who best to target, as corrupting the imperial nobles and politicians with the promise of gaining an edge over their rivals usually draws them into the god's trap. Tzeentch offers these authority figures knowledge that could solidify or gain power over their peers, and once the ruler makes these cult members a part of their advisory council, the planet is on the verge of control. To the Tzeentchian cult, the lower classes do not pose a significant threat. In a society that is as difficult and repressive as that of the Imperium, it can be all too easy to give in to the blandishments of charismatic heretical preachers who promise salvation and prosperity if one will agree to follow a particular path towards enlightenment. It is in just this way that countless Tzeentchian cults begin across the galaxy. Many normally pious and good-hearted subjects of the Emperor, tired of the mindless, backbreaking labor and the elite disdain that dominates life on so many imperial worlds, are easily swayed to join the various mysterious cults. These cults slowly draw these folks ever tighter into a web of Tzeentchian corruption until it's too late, and they discover that they have become the corrupted servants of chaos. And while Tzeentchian corruption is the least common form of chaos perversion found across the Imperium, it is also the most feared by the Inquisition, for its adherents are the most powerful of chaos servants and the best at concealing both themselves and their complex schemes from the Emperor's light. When their god is ready to harvest the world, he will send his elite force, the Thousand Sons Traitor Legion. As these Chaos Space Marines invade the planet, the Tzeentchian cult will unveil their complex network of corruption. None are spared from their twisted fury, as they carve great bloody swaths through the hab blocks and manufactorum districts. They chant blasphemies and paradoxical oaths as they rampage. Giant pyres are then lit in the name of Tzeentch, and by their burning light the cultists continue to mangle and mutilate those still loyal to the Imperium. Many cities, even whole worlds, fall quickly to the sudden influx of cultists, their defenses completely overrun by the seemingly unending flood of bodies. But those that somehow are able to stem the tides of violence face an even greater threat, as the thrall bands of the Thousand Suns begin to march. Infernal bolters fire and crackling beams of eldritch energy fly over the teeming throngs of cultists, while tanks and demon engines tear through the ferrocrete walls to allow the stampede of tainted humanity to continue. The sheer volume of cultists allow them to soak up a vast amount of return fire without losing momentum, and the sight of the rubric marines and the sorcerers on the battlefield send them into a religious fervor, for these ornately armored chaos space marines are like walking saints, come to bless the cultists for their loyal devotion. Whatever hope a cultist may derive from his profane worship and faith is inevitably false. They are but pawns in the plans of the Thousand Suns, meat to clog the wheels of the Imperial war machine. Should they live through this initial uprising, no great reward awaits them. Those who survive may be taken by the thrall bands to other war zones, where they will again be sent to die on the front lines. Others are transported to the planet of the sorcerers, to serve as slaves or to be used as subjects in arcane experiments. Still more are simply overtaken by their own mutations and become gibbering chaos spawn. That is the horrible reality of these cults dedicated to Tzeentch. No amount of worship will save them from death. Only those blessed with sorcerous powers will have a chance to survive. Other extremely rare cults that are almost never detected by the Inquisition until it's too late are the Resurrectionist cults who seek everlasting life. It's extremely easy for them to exist in plain sight because their veneration for the Emperor of Mankind is grander than most, but their faith masks a heretical desire to be better than the Emperor. They see his triumph over death as the supreme conquest of human weakness and believe they can attain a similar godlike power. They explore truly heretical theories like recreating the ancient machine known as the Golden Throne that keeps the Emperor alive. Orchestrating various plots and schemes to get inside the Imperial Palace have all ended in failure, of course, but there are many within the Inquisition that believe more of these cults are quietly operating on Terra itself, learning from other failed attempts. Other Resurrectionist cults believe that the answer to the Golden Throne secrets can be found within the forbidden archaeotech that share similar designs. This has led many of these cults to form alliances with the outcasts of the priesthood of Mars. Not only do they share in the desire to obtain forbidden technology, but they also achieve a means of prolonging life through bionics and gene enhancements common to the AdMech. These heretics use the cult for protection, while the cult enjoys a small taste of immortality. Unlike common chaos cults, there is no great uprising to take control of a planet or to take down a specific imperial agenda. Instead, resurrectionist cults prefer to quietly hide amongst the population, slowly and methodically exploring new ways to bring themselves closer to immortality. It is this slow and sometimes futile exploration that leads many resurrectionist cults towards the age-defying powers of the warp, and eventually worshipping the ruinous powers of chaos in exchange for a longer life. It is at this stage that the majority of the resurrectionist cults are detected, as members practice ritual revivification to indoctrinate new members and to display their godlike powers. The enthralled cultists fight tooth and nail to save these immortal demagogues, only to watch them burn like the heretic witches they are. And that's the lore on the cults found within the Imperium of Man. But thanks for listening, guys, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. This was Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.
Oh, I used to put my